we slapping?
We are slapping.
We'll slap a number on it then.
191.
191. That's the same forwards and backwards, right?
It is, yeah. What do you call that?
We call it reverse cowgirl.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome. And welcome everybody. It's been a while, and this is a strange format.
It's
Can you give
weird.
me like a toy steering wheel or something? I feel I need to be doing something. The last 10, I think, I've been stuck in a van.
Yeah.
Going, can we have a...
I know I don't have a desk in front of me, nor do I'm not holding a phone. Like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. This is bullshit. All right, take it. Good night.
Well, it occurred to me, we've been doing the SlapperCast episodes in the van, just using these two devices. So like, why don't we, Patrick and I racking our brains today, trying to figure out how we could squeeze in an episode since we've got some technical issues and scheduling problems. I said, I'm just going to come over there with my phones.
Technical issues is a mirror about the size of Texas jumped off a wall and body slammed my fucking computer. So I am without a laptop. Yeah, it was hysterical. We were doing some we were doing some work. Somebody else was doing some work for me and charging the computer in a weird spot in the house, and the mirror jumped off the wall unprovoked, unmolested. It demolished the computer. So anyway,
but you also didn't discover that it was damaged until we were in the van. Weren't we going to Dallas, right?
Yeah. And
Turbo like,
hey, did something happen? I was like, oh motherfucker! I was like, because I thought what had happened. Okay, rewind the tape, and back to the incident. So when the mirror jumped off, the first thing it hit was the plug on the way down. It just went straight down the wall and knocked the plug out, and it kept the ground. This is the ground. This is the ground. It just sawed off the. You're welcome, Aggies. It sawed off the ground into the socket, and so I thought that had initially taken the impact, and no. So what happened was it took that off, and then it landed. Just demolished the screen. So the screens are built pretty well. I mean, as far as there should have been glass everywhere in that computer, and there was not. So.
Basically, the computer still working. It was just the screen was like, hello.
Yeah. It looked like a Van Go or a Van Don't fucking go. Anyways, it was
and on.
Yeah, it's and I've been up to my eyes, so I have not had a second to bring it in. And of course, this is the time of year where I need it for everything. I haven't been able to call people back and to email and to do a bunch of stuff, so it's been a nightmare. So,
meanwhile, palindrome is the word I was looking for earlier.
There you go. Isn't that where Mel Gibson fought Tina Turner?
Yeah. Beyond the palindrome.
So So welcome everybody. And don't forget, if you like this, if you like the music, if you like anything about the band, just hit subscribe, because we're nearly in double digits. I think we have 9 subscribers.
We're getting very close.
Any day now we're gonna get double digits, and when that happens, we're gonna have a party, and it's going to be very, very exciting. You're not invited, but we're going to have it. Anyway, so, and then we, the moment has come, and we've released the dates and the times and the details for the Ireland trip 2023. And it's on Blaggards.com right now. Yeah. And 9 days?
Ish. Yeah. It's about a week and a day.
Yeah.
So it's probably 7 days actually in Ireland. Yeah. So we get there on a Wednesday and we leave on a Thursday.
Yeah. But I urge you to go look at the itinerary, because it's quite spectacular. It's stuff that some stuff we haven't done, some stuff we have, but it's a new day. Yeah.
And this is with a touring company called Docs, run by an Irishman named Dennis, who lives in Florida.
Dennis O'Carroll, and he's in Florida, and he was spared by the hurricane, so we're grateful for that.
But also a big golfing guy. In fact, he's led a lot of golfing tours over to Ireland. So we may be adding some supplements to this.
There might be a golf supplement added. Yeah, that'll be that's being worked on presently, and I would direct you to Blaggards.com and show you a little thing that Laurie's been working on. Laurie, hope you're feeling well. I know you're under the weather. We're rooting for you. Yeah, so I would again direct you to the website, because today, Tuesday, Slapper Day, it is. There should be a picture of it up there. It's very, very cool. And so that's going to be happening. We have some new dates to talk about as well. We're booked at speaking of Lori, we're down Dry Creek, down in Richmond. Gorgeous venue. We've been looking at that for a while, and we've got Sawyer Park as well. We've got Molly's in Conroe for what is that about?
Their 25th anniversary. We know Nicole, who used to bartend at Maguire's.
Hi, Nicole Ritter.
Asked us to come down for this special occasion. So yeah, we haven't been back to Conroe in ages.
They're even talking about desmokifying the place.
Oh yeah.
They're talking about no smoking in Conroe, which I fell out of my chair. Luckily, it was a lot lower than this chair.
Yeah.
Or I would have got hurt.
So anyway, Nicole told me when she asked if we could play there that they've already they're devising a plan to kind of aerate the smoke out of the bar, which I'm very curious to see how they can accomplish that. So, but I really definitely appreciate the effort. So
yeah, Nicole is she's just one of the best. And again, we've talked about Eamonn Finnerty, owner of all the Molly's pubs, with Mike Daly, of course. But we've talked about, you don't get to be on that team. You don't get to work for him and be a wanker. You have to be top drawer. All of his managers, again, I always go to Kingwood. Just all of those clubs, every single Molly's that he has, every single manager has been so accommodating, so look, a real publican.
Yeah.
We've also joked about the bands and the bars that throw a Guinness light up in the window and they say we're an Irish pub, or the Irish band that goes, hey, we play a song about drinking, we're an Irish pub. There's a lot more to it. Again, you can get away with murder because not a lot of people know what it is. But Eamonn knows what Eamonn and Mike, their vision was, a real Irish pub in all these places, and they didn't go out and they didn't buy all the crap from these derelict farms in Ireland and fly it over and spend $1 million on Irish pub companies to come over and rip them off and put up plaster walls with decorative writing, James Joyce quotes and Brendan Behan bullshit. An Irish pub is much more than the decor.
Oh, yeah.
It is the people you put in there. It is the feeling that you get when the bartender knows your name, when they remember how, they wrap that beer with a napkin, they have that beer in the shot ready. When they come in, they sit down, they remember your names of the people that are important around you and stuff like that. And you're talking sports or politics or whatever the hell you're talking about, and you're home. And a lot of people, there's 20 pubs that say Eamonn's doing it right. I keep saying Eamonn because I've known Eamonn. I've known Mike Daly as well for as long, and they're both I'm lucky enough to call them friends. On top of being just wonderful publicans and they're great to work for.
Absolutely.
If you do your job. If you're a wanker, you don't get to stay.
Right.
And but yeah, so moving right along, and Eamonn, let's said this again before. That you'll probably remember this was episode 38. This is back when Chad was only he was very young. You said this 100 times. I started a band called On the Dole, and Eamonn said he just said, I want your band whenever you're available, just all the clubs, just tell me when and where, and just basically, I want to be the vehicle that you, and he wasn't messing around. He was, he wasn't, we went to the pubs, we advertised, we had a blast.
Do you remember where you met him first?
Yes, I do. I absolutely remember. I remember the first time I ever spoke to Eamonn Finnerty was in the place called the Pig and Whistle on Richmond and Greenbrier in Houston, Texas in 1990. But yeah, it was, I was bartending there. Eamonn came in and we spoke a couple of times, but Eamonn's the guy. He definitely won't come on the show now if I say this, but Eamonn would come in and he would just tip enormously and buy around for everybody, but not stand there and drink it and puff his chest out and be the Jack the Lad. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
Eamonn was the, hey, everybody get everybody around with me, and that's for you. It's just like, what? And that wasn't, he would do that in many, many bars, on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. And I never saw him finish a drink. I never saw him drunk.
You never saw him leave either, right?
Yeah, no, and
he just disappeared.
That's the Irish goodbye. That's it.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did he go? He's like a ghost. And he is the best at it. He's just the absolute best at it. And just a delight to be his family's wonderful. I've just been, like I said, big fan. If you can't notice.
That's cool. Molly Maguire would have only been a few years old back then. It was 88 or 87.
Eamonn started as a bartender.
Yeah.
We need to get him on here.
Yeah.
The fuck are we waiting for?
I know.
But Eamonn started when he came over here and he started in construction and worked in bars, and he built and I've said it 1,000 times and I'll keep saying it. Eamonn, he just keeps he doesn't he says he's going to do something, he does it, and he treats everybody fair, and he's just one of the people you just everybody holds in high regard, or they're a wanker.
Yeah.
Simple enough.
Yeah.
So where are the other two? Are we gonna let them talk? Now they're in the van. Actually, we told them we were going for ice cream. So just the last few months, it seems like summertime anyway. We're going to be touring. We do have confirmation of these dates are not posted yet, but we figured we'd just give it to you here first. But we have confirmed that we will be in Phoenix in January. And we're going to go out there. Myself, Turbo, and Chad are going to drive out there. And for once, we're going to leave Miss Heidi in the comfort of her own home, and we're going to come to her. So we have a Friday, Saturday, Phoenix area. I'll tell you, Saturday will be the Dubliner in Phoenix. And Sunday will be somewhere very, very special as well. And Friday will be a riot as well. So we're going to play on the way out there. I've already confirmed we're going to be the three of us will be in Midland on the Wednesday. I don't know the dates off the top of my head, but then the Thursday will be probably El Paso, and then Friday, Saturday, Phoenix, and then Sunday somewhere very special. So cool. Very, very giddy about that.
All right.
And if we get something Monday, we'll do Monday as well. So in and around the Arizona deserts. So really looking forward to that. And then, of course, we got October. This time next year, we'll all be packing suitcases. Check your passports. Make sure that they are valid, because you will need that.
I got to renew mine. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, well, and it's going to be October. It's going to be this time next year.
Yeah.
Shit. Expedite.
Mm-hmm.
And that, just a little background. So we were talking about Dennis O'Carroll, Doc's travel agency in Florida. We got to know about him through a band called the Byrne Brothers. They're out of Florida, but we met them in Montana at the Bitterroot Celtic Festival and Games, and tremendous band. Tommy, the father, with his 3 sons and lovely wife. She doesn't take any shit. She just sells merch, and she just makes everything. So we were already Tommy fans, and then we got to know Dennis through them, and we had to pull the trigger on this tour, because, as you know, we've been held hostage by the pandemic, the year for the last couple of years, and when we wanted to release the last tour dates, which our friend Sienna worked so hard on round the clock, actually, for a very, very long time. Ireland wasn't open, and there wasn't going to be enough time to put this colossal machine together and have it mobile and ready to go. So we jumped on this thing. We said yes. The only thing that I had to do with Dennis was to tell him which way we want to go, and we wanted to do a little bit different. So we're going to stay a little extra in Tipperary. We're going to stay a little extra. Just Ireland it's kind of like a blind guy in a brothel. You're going to get what you want, but sometimes you're going to get a little bit more. It's going to be a lot more. It's just you can't go wrong, is all I'm trying to say. But this time I just thought we'd just shift it a little bit, and we're going to try to play every single night when we're there. That's going to be difficult only because of the logistics of the gear and whatnot. But our friend, there's a friend of ours, and it's a friend of yours. You just don't know it. But his name is Steve Berube. and he's from Houston, Texas, and he now lives in Dublin, Ireland. And we have done this. I now live here, and he now lives there. And he know. When I say he knows everybody, he knows everybody. He's like the phone book, shagging the ancestry tree, your ancestors, family tree. It's just, he knows everybody far and wide. He knows my cousin Peter, who works for Radio Nova. He knows Anne-Marie Shields, who is Rock Daddy's daughter. And she was the vehicle in which My Bloody Valentine became the biggest underground band of all time. And just crazy stuff. I mean, he knows all these people, but then he knows every publican, every promoter, every bartender, everything. He knows everybody. He sent me names and addresses of gigs and these potential agents that we need to know to come over there and do this stuff. So it's not the first time he's done this. He's done this for us before. So he is just a treasure, and he's finger on the pulse, knows everything that's going on. He's he's a monster. He is to rock and roll is what Eamonn is to alcohol. There's no end. There's no beginning, no end to his magnificence. And we need to get him on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and could we find out how the hell he does it? But yeah, he's one of these people that I can't wait to get the correspondence from him. He's one of these guys that's and pure rock and roll. There's a band, and I haven't heard them yet. I've heard a clip of a video that he sent, but there's a band in Dublin. They're called Ham Sandwich, and they're quite amazing from what I've heard. But he is all in on them. That's his band. I don't know if he's involved with them, but he's definitely promoting them, and they're worth every bit of it. So if you want to check them out too, they're just I believe they're doing really, really well. They're setting Dublin afire right now. So
really,
yeah, one to check out.
Curious what the story behind the name is.
They're probably vegans. And Matt, is there any podcast that you want to talk about? Anything new? Anything exciting?
I have not officially launched it yet, but I'm about to this week at some point. I started a new podcast called Prodigious Saps. And my old friend Brendan, I met him when he was putting together with my friend Patrick White, the band in Houston, Zuzu's Pedals, who used to play at the Pig. We were just talking about it. The same right around the same time you met
Pig and
him.
Whistle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Brendan's just hilarious, just brilliant guy, singer, writer, illustrator. He and our mutual friend Jerry Chrisman, who was the keyboardist in Zuzu's Pedals. They both live in Portland, Oregon. Jerry and Brendan are doing a stage show called Tesla City Stories, where they basically are doing like an old style, like 40s radio play on stage. We were just reminiscing about, we used to get together and talk about movies and TV shows and stuff like that. Stuff that we used to be doing, music as well. So we said, let's just record it and see if we like it, and we'll turn it into a podcast. So,
nice. How many episodes you got?
I've got 3 banked so far. We started recording it about a month ago, and we didn't know what it was going to be called until recently, so I didn't.
Who came up with the name?
Well, I stumbled across it. There's a poem a poem about Superman written by none other than Vladimir Nabokov, who wrote Lolita.
Oh yeah.
The only reason I really know who Nabokov is because of Don't Stand So Close to Me. Yeah. It's no use. He sees her, he starts to shake and cough, just like that old man in that book by Nabokov. Very classic, weird literary reference of Sting's. He has a lot of weird lyrics like that. It's just sort of silly, rhyming cough with Nabokov. Yeah,
well, and of course, being a teacher as well, he had a little bit more scope, maybe.
Sure. But anyway, so back in the early 40s, Nabokov had written, I guess, during a time when he was kind of down on his luck and not making his novels weren't selling very well or something, I guess. So he was just trying to think of anything he could write to make a buck. And so Superman was kind of a new thing and kind of a big at the time, just the comics. Maybe they probably had the radio show at the time. But so he wrote this really silly poem about Superman that he sent to the New Yorker, where he's musing about how could Superman have a sex life, because surely he would kill whoever he attempted to have sex with. And then even if he had succeeded in conceiving and having a child, the kid would probably turn into this this destructive force
Bass player.
that would destroy the world. It was a really, really silly, surprisingly bawdy, weird poem that, of course, the New Yorker rejected to publish. And it only just recently came to light. It was like last year, somebody found this in a closet somewhere. I apologize. When I found it, I thought for sure it was a hoax. Like, no way, Nabokov wrote a poem about Superman. But apparently it's true. But there's a line in there about, I'm a young man filled with prodigious sap. And I thought that was so hilarious. And I sent it to Brenda, and he says, so that's it. Just change it to plural, saps, because, we're being sappy about the stuff that we're nerding out about. So that's it. It's just completely silly. And it's the fact that it has this weird slanted reference to Superman is one of the reasons I like it. But so yeah, prodigious saps coming to a podcast platform near you.
It's going to be PSPD or PC. Just like it could be the short. Just PC for podcasts, Prodigious Saps podcast.
Actually, yes. I've been calling it PSAPs in my abbreviations.
There you go. PSAPs, yeah. I don't know much about Superman, but yes, that's about as long as I've ever talked about it. I did see it as a child and left there going, these people need to get laid.
You were mentioning it, you were talking about, I don't know, it was on one of the shows that we were talking about soundtracks. You happened to mention that soundtrack that John Williams wrote for that movie as being something that
I do remember that orchestral piece being very, like the William Tell Overture or something like that, just being very, very, very uplifting and very, just all those songs are crafted so well.
John Williams was a genius in that. It blows my mind. I wrote a little bit of a music stinger for this podcast since because we had the SlapperCast theme, Blaggards. I wanted something for this.
Yeah.
So I just made up something that was sort of based on, used John Williams' score as inspiration. Yeah. But I went and I figured out on like piano, I was going da 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 ba ba ba. And it's so, I never really, you really think about these things unless you sit down and try to figure it out. The notes are so simple. It's just a little triad. Ba ba ba. It's just basically a G chord. So he's just playing around with 3 notes for that one main thing. And it was it's genius.
Very good. So look for that on your, and is this going to be a little bit more frequent now than your other podcast?
My other podcast?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Don't you have their dietary?
Oh, the Staying in Gear. Yeah. That's not really a podcast. That was a YouTube channel.
Well, that's not a podcast. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not a podcast. But
Okay.
Definitely more frequent than once a year.
I know.
Yeah. How did you say it? Like, this is Chad, your weight loss guru. Okay, see you in 6 months.
Yeah. So I'm going to have oatmeal every day for the rest of my life. So there's going to be a lot of recording coming up here very soon. We've been figuring out the new gear, which I keep saying new gear. It's old gear now, but it's still new gear to us. Our board and whatnot. But we are going to be able to do some pretty decent recordings.
Yeah.
Coming up, and I'm really excited about that. That's where I've been. I've been buried, tucked away for the last few days up north, getting this studio ready and just getting this, getting this stuff together. And I was going over some old songs. I was trying to retool, or not retool is the wrong word, but you're trying to revamp. We did a Christmas song. Was it 2 years ago now?
Yeah, almost, yeah.
It's gonna be 2 years.
Yeah.
Recorded back in the pandemic and shot a video for it. And I was trying to shorten it and make it a little bit more,
More punchy, or?
Yeah, just a little bit more exciting. To me it was. It just seems kind of long-winded. It seems like doesn't seem very focused. I'm just really excited because we have a very special group that we're working with right now. With Heidi and Turbo, we've kind of, it was just a little bit messy in the past, and I just think it's a little bit more focused, a little bit more,
It's
concise.
The sheer enthusiasm that all 4 of us have for it now is something we haven't really had.
Yeah.
Really, with any of our lineups. I don't think we've ever had all 4 wheels going at full speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's either somebody would be slightly disconnected or somebody would be their mind would be out completely elsewhere.
Silent, dejected, and cold, and playing basketball. Yeah, no, but it is. It's that. That you're exactly right. Everybody pull in the same direction with the same intensity. Yeah, it makes a big difference. Absolutely. So, I'd like to. Once we get this room, once we get this studio going, like to like we talked about before, do these clips.
Yeah,
and
it's a lot easier. I mean, we've had the interface that we used to record the podcast with. Kind of the same thing, except that it's just handy to be able to plug into the actual board that our instruments are already plugged into, plug it into my laptop, and then just record it, individual tracks. It's beautiful. It works. It's just so easy. So we haven't done it yet at a show, but we're going to. I know I needed to get a really long USB cable.
Yeah.
But a week or two ago, we recorded a rehearsal in here, and we didn't really have the mics for the drum kit. So I just said, I'm just going to put one of my betas just sitting near the kit, just so we have something for reference, later, so that it's be on there. And then later, I had great fun using Logic to pump up that single mic that recorded the drum kit. I just compressed the fuck out of it. And it's definitely not like hi-fi, but it still sounds really satisfying. It's just amazing what you can do these days with very little equipment.
Yeah, and great. The gear is great.
Yeah.
The gear is just top. As long as you don't go and buy the bargain bin stuff, you really are getting really decent stuff, really, really, really good materials, and it's great because your stuff lasts. Mm-hmm. When your stuff lasts, then you can use it again, or and tweak it to how you like it. And if you are in the Houston area, you do have guitars. Our friend Neil Sargent is now working without the top of his finger. He just had a little accident. He's fine. He's fine, and he's going to be fine. The finger's going to heal fine, but
still working.
He's doing. He's a little bit behind because he lost about let's say people have 10 fingers. He's got 9 point. Let's call it 9.9. But yeah, he lost. It's a small, but it's still. I walked in and I saw the Band-Aid, and I immediately my skin started crawling. I was like, don't tell me, just tell me your finger's cold. Tell me a lie. Mm-hmm. And he went into every fucking detail on how
of course
he was on it wasn't a saw. Luckily, it wasn't a saw. He was sanding something, and it caught the sand belt. Caught his finger and we whipped it around. Oh my God. Anyway, so if you have guitars, one or two, and you want you need some work done, go see Neil Sargent. His information's on our website, blaggards.com. You should probably go there and subscribe to hear while you're there.
Yeah.
Oh, and Christmas. So we're gonna try to get this Christmas song out again. We're gonna put our Christmas song back in the thing. We just kind of if you haven't heard it yet, maybe give it a listen. Tell us what you think. I have another idea for a little bit faster version of it.
You got some new stuff too, right?
Yeah. Got some. Just dying to get this stuff together. We're gonna have to work remotely with Heidi for now. If you've seen us play lately, you'll know that she's playing with that just remarkable new piece of wood that she's got, and she's just made it her own. We're so proud of her in that it took some work to get used to that new beast. And now that she has it, she's just, and then also we're going to say too, so it's now, today is Tuesday, we're October, 11th, 12th, 11th. So in a couple of weeks, might have a special guest sitting in with us. All right, so why are you being so vague? Because I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Something we have on the show already.
Yeah. Are we going to kill something today?
Yeah,
we're going to kill a song. So every week here on SlapperCast, what we do is we kill a song, whether it needs it or not. And because we're so wonderful, we always bring one back or shine a little light. And then Chad's all raring to go with this. He got here at 6 o'clock this morning and slept on the porch until 11.
Now?
Yeah. So he's been so excited to go. So Killing is his middle name, Chad.
So, yes, I've been thinking about the Police quite a bit lately because our friend Anne, again from Molly Maguire's old friend Anne Bretting, I posted something about the police recently, just to be silly. I was sitting at home, and suddenly I found myself thinking about the video for Wrapped Around Your Finger off of Synchronicity.
Yeah.
Where the
Candles.
Yeah, and he's dancing around slow motion in pajamas or something like that. And it occurred to me, it's like, oh yeah, that's in slow motion. So they must have been, when they actually filmed it, they must have been playing at double speed and jumping around really fast, which means it must have sounded like chipmunks on set. It's like, I never really thought about that, but I wonder if that's the case. I just did a quick Google search, and somebody on YouTube had already figured it out and sped up the video to where it looked like it was natural. And yeah, it's like, I'll be right around your finger. You know, they got the high chipmunk.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. And to see how fast they were actually jumping around too. So I posted that. It's like, look at this. This is hilarious. And Anne commented on that. Said, have you seen Under the Volcano yet? I said, no, what's that? She said, you've got to watch it. She said, I already told you about it. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, exactly. So Under the Volcano is a documentary about Air Recording Studio in Montserrat, which is this tiny little Caribbean island. I don't know how many square miles. You could probably fit it inside the 610 loop, I would imagine. But it's a volcanic island. But anyway, George Martin, the famous producer who worked with the Beatles throughout their entire career, started this studio like in the late 70s, early 80s. And a lot of really big names recorded there over the next 10 years. And it didn't survive much longer. I didn't think it died in 1989. A hurricane hit the island and the studio never recovered after that. And then just to completely drive the nail into the coffin, the volcano erupted in 1995, making half the island uninhabitable. And the studio, which is still there as a derelict building, is like right on the border of the exclusion zone, where there's like half the island you're not even allowed to visit. It's too dangerous now.
Until now.
It's really fascinating to watch the documentary and just kind of having it sink in how much of the music that defined the 80s was recorded in that studio on that little island. Synchronicity by the Police, Ghost in the Machine before that, both of them recorded at Montserrat. Brothers in Arms from Dire Straits, Duran Duran, for whatever the album is that came after Rio, has a Reflex.
Oh yeah.
That was recorded there. Paul McCartney recorded Tug of War there.
Yeah, but we don't need to talk about that.
I knew he was going to say that. Yeah. Anyway, a lot of big stuff. So all three of the Police are in the documentary. So it was just fascinating listening to them talk, because obviously Synchronicity was the very last record they ever put out. So I've been thinking a lot about that album, and so I'm going to kill a song off that album and resurrect one off the very same album. And this is very obvious. There's a lot of songs off there that I'm not. It's a weird album because it's considered to be their masterpiece or like one of their biggest albums, but to me it's very lopsided. You've got just brilliant pieces of work. I think two of the best songs they ever did, Synchronicities 1 and 2, I think are just stunning. They kind of stand head and shoulders above almost everything else they did. They're just so incredible. Synchronicity 2 in particular, I think, is probably Sting's best lyrics. I think the lyrics in that are absolutely fantastic. But then you got stuff like Andy Summers' Mother, and just kind of second-rate Sting material, like Oh My God or Tea in the Sahara, all these kind of boring songs. But the undeniable hit off that album, which they knew was a hit as they were recording it, as they mentioned in this documentary, was Every Breath You Take. And I think that quite a few people were ready to kill that song shortly after it came out. It's just, you hear it once like, wow. And then you hear it 10,000 more times. Production-wise, I think it sounds fantastic. There aren't a whole lot of songs I can think where you think like the scraping on the guitar, like whoosh, it's kind of part of the sound. And they actually kind of made that work as part of the ambience of the song, which is kind of cool. But I'm so ready to never hear that song again. The song I'm bringing back is one nobody ever talks about. This song on Synchronicity, Miss Grodenko, Stuart Copeland. It's a song that he wrote that Sting sings. I'm not even sure Stuart might be singing with him in unison on that. I'm not sure, but it's a fantastic. I think it's probably the best song that Stuart wrote for the Police. And there's some good ones that he did earlier.
I love Stuart's. I'm just a huge Stuart Copeland fan, period. But his humor comes through in everything he does. Yeah. His playing, his videos, his interviews, his everything he does. Every little thing he does is magic. Yeah. But it really is. He's one of those people that just screams energy, even when he's
Yeah.
But anyway, the song is,
it's brilliant. It's just from start to finish. It's very concise. It's incredibly catchy. It's funny. It's kind of weird that the lyrics are so strange that the setting they're talking about makes you kind of want to think about what is going on here. You know, what exactly is he singing about? Is it like a Russian security or agency or something? Who exactly is Miss Grenada? She's, it's just kind of interesting. And then also the guitar solo. Andy Summers is probably my favorite solo he ever played, and one of my favorite guitar solos ever, just because it's so bizarre and catchy at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not easy to make something weird and catchy all at once. And just the groove, it's just so satisfying. And it blows my mind that nobody ever really talks about that song.
I don't even know where to go to get a conversation about, to dig into a police conversation nowadays. I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
you know anybody who are big police fans?
Yeah. I know a lot of police fans, but it just seems to be one of those. It seems to be one of those things where I don't know. You have to be the guy with the acoustic guitar at the party, and just piss everybody off and just keep shoving it into, hey, what about, it's just so much going on. It feels that I haven't talked about the police. The only time we talk about the police is when we're in the van listening to the police.
We've gone days listening to nothing but police.
But police. That sounds rude. It's strange that they were the biggest and best thing at the moment. I remember that moment. I remember that just snippet in time where you could not move without the police just engulfing everything about every moment. And there was a time where you just, and I just, I know the Beatles had that, and I know Elvis had that, and I know how, but it means more to me now because I realize how good they were or are. But in the moment, it's kind of like, man, if they would just fucking rock, they're this close.
Yeah.
If they would just, but they were just doing it different. It just wasn't what it's not what I was used to as far as that much energy, and that much sound. But they just needed, just give the guy a real guitar and because that was my immature stuff. But that's
the thing. It's so frustrating listening to Synchronicity. That record is a great example of that, because they do hit it really hard there on a few songs, but then they go off into ballad land for 5 songs, and it's like, God damn it.
I know. There has to be a. I don't know who does that. I don't know who does that perfect blend of, and this is a whole nother discussion for a whole nother time, but I've been revisiting the Blagmatic sessions, if you will, and how we just arrived in the studio and just kind of played it and took what we got, and just but we were just talking about what we have now is we have the ability to go in and mess with it and tweak it and get it stage ready, then take it to the stage and make sure it's people ready. We can have it stage ready and sounding good. And I don't know the songs, but I was listening to some of my vinyl, and there's a Paul Simon record in there, and I was just delighted to find this record that I hadn't heard, and it was awful. It was fucking terrible. There was nothing on it. There's nothing on the whole record.
What record was it?
I don't know. I have to go. I listened to so much, but it was just, I was like, oh, no, skip. It was just, the lyrics were good, but it just didn't have the time to there's a lot of records to get to. I want to listen to a bunch, and I was just putting them on. And it was terrible. I mean, in his, you have somebody of that caliber, you expect, even the low stuff to be, this wasn't listenable.
Mm-hmm.
This was, so I'll dig it out.
Yeah, I'm curious now. I'm not really, I think I did buy, like everybody did, I bought Graceland when it came out. But I don't really know. I mean, I know his big hits and stuff, but I've never actually bought any of his solo records.
But do yourself a favor and go and look at his live show. Just go and Google just even Graceland. I mean, just watch them play it live. Watch it. Look at a band with like 12 or 15 people on the stage, and every motherfucker knows what they're doing. Every single. I mean, obviously they know what they're doing, but everybody's got a part. It looks like it's just. Just a handful of cards thrown up in the air. It's not. every single person. There's so much going on, but everybody's in this. That's brilliant. It really is. It's a symphony, but it's a rock and roll symphony. It's breathtaking. And I remember goosebumps and even feeling a little lightheaded watching the show, because I know what it takes to get, we know what it takes to have 4 people locked in, but have a band that size playing this music that's just, it seems like it's always, there's no crescendo, it's just always building. It just stays in, and then they end it. It's like, oh my God, you could have done another hour of that. Brilliant. Anyway, I don't know, as much as I dislike Every Breath You Take, I don't know if I could kill any of those songs just because of, yes, I'm sick of that one. Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic is probably not a true Police fan's favorite. That song at that time meant so much to me. I cannot get sick of it. And that song was played, I won't say as much as Every Breath You Take, but it was close. It was close. The video was spectacular.
Yeah, which was filmed in Montserrat, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of the
Yeah.
When I was watching that, I get it.
And when the lyric goes, "Must I always be alone?" Watch Stuart Copeland's face on there when he's out of control. It's just brilliant. Even today, it's as funny as when I first saw it. But I remember where I was. I remember the time of day. I remember when that video came out. I remember just going. It was like I got kicked in the chest in a good way, and the whole thing was just brilliant. And because the song is not just catchy. It's bubblegum, it's pop, it's all the stuff that I usually wouldn't like, but I love it.
Yeah, I do too. I've never gotten sick of that song. I know it's played to death, but it's okay.
Yeah, and I need to also make a list of those songs, because there are a few songs. I'll give you another one. It's a Dire Straits number, and it's off the Brothers in Arms. A song I've talked about it before, but Your Latest Trick. That song was huge, and you couldn't get in an elevator, in an orgy, in a fight, in a thing. You couldn't get anywhere without hearing that song. It was everywhere. And I'm not sick of that song. In fact, if we were to listen to that song 10 times in a row right now, I wouldn't mind. So here we go, 10 times now. But it's a song that, and he played it when we saw it. Okay. And I remember I just needed fainting. Oh God! Now I'm lost. So far.
Have you killed anything yet?
No, I didn't kill anything. I didn't kill anything or bring anything back. But one of the songs I was going to kill was "God Save the Queen" by Motörhead. I just thought it was just a cheap shot. I just thought it was stupid. I still don't like it. And a stupid video, And for a band that did Overkill, a band that did Dr. Rock, a band that did, Stay Clean. We Are the Road Crew. Those brilliant. You don't have to go there. You don't have to do that.
So they covered the Sex Pistols?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just dull. There was nothing you could do to that song that we were talking about. I Fought the Law the other day, and I don't really care for the Clash's version of it. I like the way we do it because it's kind of gets the message across. It's over faster and. A little bit more, a little more thumpy,
Yeah. It's gotten really good lately.
Huh?
After we rehearsed it with Kevin.
Yeah.
It's really cooking now.
Yeah. And it's so fun to play.
Yeah. It's
such a great number. And to be written so long ago, to have that kind of an impact today. But anyways, bringing back a song, I'm torn because I did watch a video that my daughter sent, Tara, who was on 2 episodes ago. She had told me to look into this guy, Orville Peck, who is a country and western / Elvis / Roy Orbison / beautiful voice, and very campy, very but quite brilliant. Lyrics are quite brilliant. The song, I'm torn on the songs to shine a light on. One's called Lafayette, and the other one is called, I just lost it. So let's just go with Lafayette then. It's a sign. Beautifully recorded, good band, and just comes at you. If you haven't seen it and you're interested in it, check it out. But it will come at it comes at you, comes from an angle that you would not expect. At least in my understanding of that genre of music, it just comes at you a little different than you would be expecting. But I think his voice is beautiful. I think the production is spot on. I think the band's great, and it's very, very worthwhile.
So is this somebody who's currently recording?
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, Orville Peck, which I thought was a great name.
It is.
I thought it's a great name. And whence the Orville Peck train arrives, okay, a lot of stuff makes sense. It's worth checking out if you like country / that kind of, not hillbilly. And I hate even saying country because it's not, we live in a time and a place where country can pass as bubblegum being gang raped by candy floss or something. It's sickening in every form. And it's not what country is. And again, people will argue over who is country and who is not. I'll tell you, the stuff on the radio today is not country. It's just not. And it's so bad. And we've often, pointed at the Buc-ee's franchise and said, hey, go in there if you want to hear the worst fucking music and the most Jesus that you can ever, get on one cross. It's in there. So the worst music I've ever heard in my life. And not even slightly the worst. It is by universes. I mean, by infinite count, the worst shit I've ever heard. And they seem to top it. Every time you come in, you go, oh my God, where did you get that stupid phrase from that you're going to write a 4-minute song on? And wordplay, like bad wordplay and terrible repetitive, these horrible phrases that just are on these awful loops. Think of the commercial, and have that on loop.
Yeah.
On loop. That's the hook of the song. Anyway, that's not country.
Yeah.
And yes, you can play it in the country, and you can probably, bury it in the country, but it's awful.
Yeah. Yes.
So again, I wouldn't do it a disservice by labeling it country, but people would say that's kind of cool. It definitely has that old country in it, and it's tiny bit outlaw country, a tiny bit of classic country, Merle, Johnny Cash,
But it falls into what they're calling alt country these days.
I don't know.
Steve Earle's sometimes
maybe it would pair well with maybe a Steve Earle or a Two Tones of Steel.
Okay.
That kind of.
It's really what alt country means now is what country used to be.
Yeah.
About 40 years ago. So. Anyway.
Yeah. Good stuff though. It's worth trying out, and again, just for his voice, just for his delivery, really, really good stuff.
Cool. Right.
And again, my daughter is guilty of pointing me in many musical directions in which I was not willing to go, not willing to check out. And she's going, can I play something for you? And we've listened to big band, we've listened to this, and we just turned me on some really good stuff, but to be continued.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff coming up as usual. And like I said at the beginning, I would love to see your name on here. So hit subscribe if you would. And that'll save us going to your house because we know where you live. So save us a trip, knock on the door. I know now with Halloween coming up and Christmas on the corner, we're going to hear some new stuff coming out from us. And we're looking forward to getting the gang back on the road. I think the first time that we're going to see Heidi is unless we can, she's got a bunch of stuff booked in Phoenix. So if we can get some kind of miracle together, we'll see her in Houston before that. But if not, we'll be getting her here in the new year. Mm-hmm. But we're looking forward to getting the van is howling out there, ready to roll.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening, and thank you for hitting subscribe. 10 people. And then, we'll hopefully see you on the road, and just have a look at our flyer for Ireland for October 2023. And love to see you there as well.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
All right. See you next week.
Don't go change. Cheers.